to this edition of Buncombe Life. We are at the coolest place. Well, not really. It's kind of creepy, but it's really cool for you to get to see this. We're inside the Buncombe County Courthouse. If you've been downtown, you know it's under construction. You've seen the crane. You've heard Life Safety Tower. They're doing some construction. Well, come with us and you'll see what they're doing on the inside. We're on the 15th floor. We're going to join Bill Stafford in just a few minutes. He's going to give us a tour of the construction, explain how they're doing it, what they're doing. If you've been here, if you've lived here, you know that 13, 14, 15th floors of the courthouse were the old jail. That's where we are. Some really cool stories. So sit back and relax and join us for this edition of Buncombe Life. Okay, we've come down to, well, first let me say, we've been joined by Bill Stafford. Bill, what's your job here with Buncombe County?
I'm actually project manager for the county right now.
For this particular project that's going on here in the jail, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We've been joined by Bill, who is going to explain to us where we are, and he's just told me, and now we're going to tell you, and it is a little creepy, but it's actually kind of cool because we're on the, what floor?
We're on the 14th floor right now.
The 14th floor of the courthouse, which used to be the old jail. We're actually standing in a jail cell.
Yes, ma'am. Right now, where we're standing, we're in a jail cell. And back in April '96, before we moved to the new facility, we'd have 2 and possibly 3 sleep in this area we're at now.
And just in this area?
That space right there. You had
3 people.
2 bunks, and we had 1 laying in the floor.
Before you moved into the new jail?
And that was in April '96. We moved everybody from here to the new jail.
That's amazing. What you don't see here now is all the metal is gone, and this is 2 floors. I can see to the top of actually another floor.
Yes, this is the 14, and as you look around the edge, you can see where the floor was on 15, and we had the 15th floor above us, but now it's 14, and we're to the roof of the courthouse.
So every one of these little squares was a jail cell with all that metal and all that, and now all that's gone, and you opened it up. It's amazing how big and open and great it feels in here, but I cannot imagine being in a little bitty tiny cell, all metal like that, back then.
Yes.
Now you got to tell us and the folks at home, how'd you get all the metal out of here?
Right now we're actually cutting holes. We've got a hole in the roof here. We bring a pan down with the tower crane, and as they cut the metal, they load the pan and they bring it out.
A pan, what does that mean? Just like a...
It's a pan that holds all the metal that they take it out with.
Oh, okay.
And it usually takes us about 2 weeks to get all the metal off of the floor.
So you actually had to cut it out of here?
Everything was cut out of here with torches.
Wow. That's amazing. And then just lift it out with the crane and take it out. What are they going to do with that old metal, do you know?
The metal is actually getting recycled. They're trucking it back to Johnson City at a recycling center there.
Well, that's a good thing. And then these 2 floors will be finished and straightened out. And what's going to go in here when it's done?
Okay, on the lower floors, which is 11, 12, and 13, we're putting state probation there, and our day reporting center will be there.
Okay. And then the other floors, not determined yet?
Not determined at this time right now.
Okay. I wish y'all could just be here with me to see the difference. I did take a tour of this when I was never here in jail, but when there were bars on here on these squares, it's just amazing that you can even do this, that you could get this stuff out of here and make it look this good. I can remember thinking, well, they're going to turn the old jail into offices. Can't do it. Can't do it. Never going to happen. This looks amazing.
It's just amazing the light that we brought in here, and just the odor of the old jail to where we're at now. It's just gone.
It's gone.
It's
gone. Yeah, it just looks like an old structure. Now, this courthouse was built in 1927. I think it opened in 1927 or 28.
27, I believe.
Yeah, 27. So it's that old. It actually looks good for being that old of a structure.
It is, and it's a sturdy structure. When they built them back in those days, what amazes me right now is how they built it in 27 and got all this steel in here in place. And I know what our contractor's trying to do to get it out, and the struggle we're having just getting it out.
It was still sturdy in here, buddy.
Oh, it's a sturdy place.
That's right. That is amazing. Well, now we're going to walk on and we're going to show you some more stuff, so stay with us. Okay, I'm a little freaked out to tell you, but we're on the 13th floor of the courthouse. You just said 13th floor?
Yes, ma'am, this is 13th floor.
So y'all didn't skip 13. This
We
is
had 13.
13. Again, this is the jail. This was the old jail. But it's huge. What they've taken out, and Bill, I want you to tell me, what they've taken out has left this big, huge open space with some incredible views out these windows, and we'll make sure that we show you what those are. It's just gorgeous up here. Ooh, but it wasn't gorgeous back in the day. Tell me what was up here.
Okay, on the 13th floor, we had 4 cell blocks. Up on the north side, we had a cell block with about 13 to 14 inmates. In the center here, we had 2 separate cell blocks that had 8 on each side. Then we get on the south side here, and we had another cell block. And again, it's 13 or 14 inmates in this cell block.
Good grief. So we're standing again in another cell.
We're in another cell now. Where we're standing now is a little smaller than what was on 14, but this was a single bunk cell with a toilet back here. And again, if we got overcrowded back before we moved, it would be 1 on a bunk, and we'd have 1 laying on the floor.
Oh my goodness. And then there were walls between them.
There's walls between them, and then you had bars in front with a small opening for a sliding door.
Oh my goodness, that's creepy. I mean, it is really cramped up here. But now, it's not. And what's so incredible to me is how much open space is in here when you got all that out. Again, they've taken all that metal out just like they did on the upper floors.
Yes, they've taken them through the openings like we have on the open floor in pans and lifted it out. And now 13th floor got completed about a week and a half ago, and we've moved down to 12 and started doing the same thing on 12.
And now after 12 comes
11.
And then down all the way to 8?
Down all the way to 8. Once we get through 11, that's all the jail space. Now we'll be in occupied space where we got to move employees and offices in the county. That'll be 10, 9, and 8. We got to do the same thing as we go down.
And this is to build that life safety tower, so there's a safe way to get in and out of these upper floors.
Yes, we'll have a stair tower on the south side, stair tower on the north side, and about where we're standing, there'll be a jump elevator that'll bring us from the 8th floor to 14th.
Wow. And then this will tie, the courthouse then, will tie to the new building that's going to be constructed, which is all the courts.
All the courts, which is phase 2 building, and that will be tied with the life safety tower there at the entrance.
This is going to be absolutely fabulous when it's done.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful. It's a lot of space for the court system now. And instead of coming in when you see the lines out the door of court, big courtrooms, people will be able to sit and wait for their case.
With a properly secured entrance?
Yes, one entrance with security.
With proper, and I think, I can't wait to see it. A day when you don't come in through a tiny little rigged entrance, no longer the big front door of the courthouse, that little entrance we're coming in now. It'll be a nice official entrance that's secure for the judges and secure for people who have to come to court and for the employees that work here.
And it'll be big enough if there's a long line coming in that you're not waiting outside the building in cold weather to get in. The new entrance should accommodate everybody getting in.
Right, and will attach to the new jail, which is a Tajma jail compared to what was up here years and years ago.
Right.
It's still not a place you really want to visit, but not a bad one if you have to.
It's better than what we had right here.
That's exactly
before
right.
96.
That's exactly right. Well, now stay with us. We've got more to see. Okay, we're still traveling. Tell me where we are in here. This doesn't smell too good.
This right here, we still got the aroma of the old jail in here because we're just now in the process of demoing. The area we're standing right now, it used to be the laundry for the jail.
Okay.
And past us this way, the wall was taken out. That used to be the kitchen area right there where we served all the meals for the inmates here. And somewhere between 260, 300 meals per meal, breakfast, lunch, and supper was served out of this kitchen.
And then taken upstairs.
Taken upstairs in hot carts.
Okay, so up the elevator.
Up the elevator.
Whoa.
And if the elevator's broke, up the steps.
Up the steps.
Up the steps.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the upper floors had no smell. They were just open and free, and in here, ooh, yeah, it's not good.
No, you still have the old jail odor here.
It does. Now tell me about the laundry. You said they would actually, this is where they did the sheets and...
Yeah, back years ago when the city had the city jail and the county had the county jail, the laundry was done here for the city jail, and we had, where we're standing was a big sheet machine. They actually pressed the sheets, they folded them, then we took them to the city jail. Now that was before my time when I come, but that sheet machine was here in '72.
Yeah, so there were sheets on the beds?
Yes.
In the jail?
In the jail.
That would be unheard of today. No sheets.
Today's world. Yeah, now today we still use sheets over there, but back here we just had one sheet and one wool blanket.
And that's all?
That's all.
Well, now how do they use sheets in the jail to keep the prisoners from doing something with them they shouldn't do?
The new facility is made inside the cells where somebody can't tie a sheet or hang themselves.
Gotcha.
In the old jail here, that was a big concern, and we had some suicide because they'd tie the sheets to the bar, but yeah, they had sheets.
Yeah, and in the new jail, there's not really any bars. It's cement block, isn't it?
It's cement block there.
That's right. And here it was just like Mayberry, you know, just the bars.
The bars, and they could tie it and hang them.
Yeah, it's amazing how the historical record here is this truly is your old time, old movie, black and white. I feel like we should be filming in black and white. Jail.
Jail.
Which is going. I mean, this is it. What you see, this is the end of it here. So I guess that's a good thing because it's kind of creepy.
It is a good thing. And again, once we get on the 11th floor, we'll actually see what some of the old jail looked like.
Yeah, so here we go, till 11. Okay, we're on 11. They haven't done much down here on 11. And this was the female floor, you told me.
This is female floor, the old female floor.
The old female jail floor where they put you if you did something bad and you were a female. Behind us, tell us what this big stack of stuff is.
This big stack of stuff is actually the cells, the walls, everything has been cut down now and waiting for us to get holes through the floor on 12 to start pulling this out.
And use that big crane we're going to talk about just a minute, and it's going to pull the stuff up through the floor. Now here upstairs we showed you the holes cut in the ceiling through the floor. It took it out, but here they haven't cut it yet.
They have not cut that yet. That's next to be done is once we remove the steel on 12, cut the hole and get ready to come down to 11.
So can you imagine all of that in here, how small it was? It really was a tiny little space.
It was small.
Yeah.
You don't realize it till the steel's gone, how it opens up in here.
Yeah, because I guess all that steel will be pulled out through the ceiling and then those walls will go.
Those walls will demo out through here.
Yeah.
And that it will open up like we were on 13. We'll have a big open area once those walls get demoed.
And it took me a while talking to you when you say demo. That don't mean a display. That means demolition.
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 They're going away, and then this will be open like you saw upstairs, a big, open, nice space, except it'll have a ceiling.
It will have ceiling. Once we redid in here again, this will be an area for probation, have a ceiling, have lots of office space in here.
And believe it or not, I believe, because I've seen upstairs, it'll be beautiful and nice. And actually, it don't smell too bad in here, but it's not good. It's really not good. I just wish you could see, though, all this steel. I'm glad it's being recycled. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it, but it's amazing that it all fit in here. And the magnitude of work that's been done.
The magnitude of the work, like I say, just to get this steel out.
Yeah. And tell us about the crane that's outside here. How tall it is? And
to the bottom of the hook of the crane is 243 feet.
Yeah.
So we probably got another 10 to 12 foot to the cab where the operator sits.
Yeah, and he sits up there and pulls all this out. And
he sits up there 10, whatever hours we work, he stays up there.
Wow. So if you're downtown, check out the crane. It'll be out there a while, won't it?
It will be here probably about 2 years.
Wow. And what else is there to see? More down, or is this pretty much it?
This is pretty well the jail floors right here. Now, as we penetrate the floor here on 11, we'll be going into occupied space, which will be 10, 9, and 80 in, and that's where we will be moving different employees and offices throughout the courthouse.
To just get it all renovated and ready to go.
Right.
Okay. There's one more thing I want you to show us, and that is back up, I believe, on 15, and that's where you would bring them into booking and holding.
Yes.
And I just want our folks at home to see that before we leave this tour.
All righty, we'll go there.
We're going back up. Stay tuned. You just had to see what one of the old cells looks like. The reason I want you to see this is the way they're cutting this out. What you've seen on the floors, we've already seen it. This is all gone. Look how this is in here, buddy. It ain't coming out, yet they're taking it out. Bill, tell us how they get this stuff out.
Okay, Kathy, on this, they'll actually come in here and cut the steel in sections which 2 guys can carry out. And as you see in here, this is a real confined space, and it takes them a while to cut all this steel out.
But you said instead of with a saw, they're using torches to get it.
They are using torches. They found that to be the easiest, quickest, and the most economical way to get this steel out.
That is an amazing job they're doing up here. That's just amazing. Now this, also another interesting note, was the female drunk tank.
Yes, on both quarters of the elevator, north and south, we had 2 individual cells like this. This was for your violent females and or a female who would come in intoxicated. You put them in here till they sobered up, then put them into a general population.
That's amazing. I just wanted you to see that. I hope you've enjoyed this tour as much as I have. It has really, thank you, Bill, for doing this for us. This has been just historical and educational and just downright amazing, is all I can say. But I wanted to end here because you told us, we got off the elevator right around the corner here, came all the way up to 15 where we are now, got off the elevator, and you said historically, this was the old booking and holding.
Yes, ma'am. Back in '72 when I originally come to the Sheriff's Department, you come up the elevator and this was booking and holding. You'd bring them off the elevator, you'd sit them on this bench or that bench over there, and this was a booking desk right here. So everything was done up here, and on the ground floor was just a hallway to get to the elevator.
Yeah, to get to the elevator that brought us up here.
Brought us up.
And then up here, so no matter what condition they were in, this tight little space is where you had to handle them.
Contain them and handle them in this little space right here.
And then from here, they were taken to one of the cells that we showed the folks at home.
Right. Usually back then, 15th floor was for felonies, 14 and down was for misdemeanors. So they'd go to one of those 2 floors.
From here.
From here.
That's amazing, because then right behind us here is where all the floors are gone now, and it's big and open, and it feels so friendly compared to what it had to be back in 1972.
Back in the earlier days.
And before that, 1927 when it opened, all the way till you moved out, and what'd you say, 96?
April of '96 we moved out.
That's a long time to use this like that. That's amazing.
Sure is.
Well, thank you, Bill, for the tour, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Stay tuned.
Visit your local tailgate market and fall in love with the freshest, best tasting food around. Find your farmer at mountainmarkets.com.
Don't feed the bears. A fed bear is a dead bear.
That's it.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
When you earn your GED diploma, the barriers in your life fall. Take the first step and get free GED information in your area at 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or yourged.org. Earn your GED diploma and begin your brighter future.
The magical thing about using energy wisely is that anyone can do it. Turn off lights. Use energy-saving light bulbs. And turn off computers and game systems when not in use. Make a change and we can really fly. Grab a grown-up and go online to energy.gov/kids.
Welcome back. As you can see, we've moved. We were in the courthouse checking out the top, and now I'm joined by Jon Creighton, our Assistant County Manager and Planning Director. Thank you, Jon, for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
He's going to tell us more about what's going on, about the construction, about why and how much and when it's going to be finished. So we're just going to jump in. I think the question on my mind, if I was watching this, Jon, after I saw all that construction, which is amazing up there, why is the county doing this now, which seems to be a bad time to be spending all this money?
Well, obviously, you know, right now prices are still low. You know, people are looking for work. You know, now is one of the best times if you'll talk to a contractor, because, you know, when we built the parking deck several years ago, you know, steel was high, concrete was high, labor was high, there was a lot of work. Now there's not as much work, so, you know, we're getting very, very good bids on the project.
On getting it done.
So that's the best time. And plus, like I say, we've got a lot of our local contractors involved. That was the idea of trying to do what we call a CM at risk, where we've got a construction manager that we break those pieces out. So
and get more people back to work.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And you heard Jon say parking deck. We're actually standing on the 7th floor of the county's parking deck, which if you haven't used it, you need to come down and take advantage of it. And behind us, of course, is where we were at the courthouse. And there is a lot of people working here. This is a huge project. I know, and you know, 20 years ago they talked about doing this.
They've done it, yeah, basically I've been here 29 years, and when I came they were talking about it. I remember one time they talked about, yeah, we've got to do this, $1 million. $1 million was too much to spend to do it. So they put it off and put it off. Maybe that's not a bad thing, because now not only are we getting the life safety tower going up the back, but we're getting a new court building. Now, the Life Safety Tower addition, tell me when you think that'll be finished and how much that's costing. That should be finished in spring, probably late spring. The whole project itself will track on through the summer, but the outside tower, elevators, and those should be finished late spring.
And the impact on the citizens will just be, if they're going to use one of those upper floors, it'll be all new and
we'll have new elevators, we'll have new stairwells, which has always been the problem in the courthouse, because code-wise, there's just no stairwell that you can take. If there's a fire, they'll get you outside, you know, one continuous stairwell. So, you know, we'll have, like I say, we'll have bathrooms on all floors, where now we only have bathrooms on every other floor. And, you know, with the public, you know, say if the commissioner's meeting, you know, if you're on that second floor, you've either got to go upstairs or go downstairs to use the bathrooms. And that's always been an issue also. So
and ran us out of there. Commissioner's no longer in the courthouse.
Exactly.
Just couldn't do it. So then that'll be finished. And that life safety tower itself, we just said, you know, all those 20, 30 years ago, $1 million. What is it costing us to do this?
It's $24 million to build, like I say, the new elevators. And then, like I say, the tower only goes up to the 8th floor. Then you'll go inside. The elevators, a new jump elevator will take you on up to the 14th floor. And then we're also cutting interior fire escapes all the way up to 14.
Right, so. And that 14th floor is where we were earlier in this, and so people will be able to access that floor. Bill didn't know what was going up there. Do we know what will be on the 14th floor?
No, right now we're just we're in the process of getting some prices to maybe do a mezzanine in that, to basically make an open concept. There have been some discussions about some departments going up there, but right now it's a question of, can we afford to put that mezzanine in, because obviously with the holes cut in the roof, the cranes here, we're going to do it now or we're not going to do it.
Right.
You know.
And we are looking at money, what we can afford, what we can't afford.
Exactly.
The next phase that folks will see, and these phases won't stop, one phase will run right into the next phase, is the new court system building. Exactly. And we've talked about that before. We lost the Board of Elections building. It's gone. And this building will go where that was. It will change the face of downtown on this end of downtown.
Exactly. It's going to be a courts building. I mean, basically what it will entail is that there will be a new entrance to get into Buncombe County Courthouse. And that's where that entrance will take place. You'll come into a big lobby. There'll be a very large courtroom there, similar to what we've got on the 5th floor courtroom. But that's for, you know, all the courts that go through. That now we have lines where people got a speeding ticket or you ran a stop sign and those kind of things. traffic court will all be in there, and that'll be run by the DA.
And that will be the entrance.
That will be the entrance and the main floor. There, I'll either go to courts, basically district courts, will be all in that building, or I'll take a right-hand turn, go over to the new life safety tower where the new elevators are, and then if I need to go to the clerk of court, I need to go to the estates, I need to see the DA, I will use those elevators.
You won't choose, do I want to go in the courthouse or do I want to go in this building? It's all going to be one space.
Right, and I'll come in there and I'll exit from there. So there'll be one entrance with security and there'll be exits right there. So it doesn't matter which building I'm going to, that will be the place I'll come in and I'll come out from.
And that improves security.
Oh, dramatically. Yes, without a doubt.
Because now the courthouse is kind of confusing. You've got one entrance on the side, the front you can go out, but you can't come in. And like we've said so many times before, it's not Mayberry anymore, and we need security.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unfortunately that's true. But we're planning on finishing three of those floors of the 4 in the new building out. We're going to go ahead and shell the top floor in because we don't need that many courtrooms at the moment. So we'll have 7 new courtrooms, and then we'll have space for 3 more. Long term, we can add another courtroom in the building as needs come about.
So if we're building now for the future, how long do you think this takes us into the foreseeable future?
Oh, it'll take us a long time to ever use these up.
Yeah.
We're looking at projections of the next 40 years, and the building is designed where we can continue on down College Street. We can add another segment to this building that will come from where basically the annex was, or Board of Elections, on down to the corner of Valley Street. So, I'm saying for the next foreseeable future, being the next 100 years, we're going to stay on this block. And basically what I think we'll see is we'll have a courts building and we'll have an office building with a grand 5th floor superior courtroom.
And that's really good planning, I think. I mean, to have it all done here right now, one time, and we're done for the future.
And where the floors where the jail was, you've gone through in the last segment, talked about removing those. Those will be for probation, so we're going to turn those into offices. So we're basically bringing a building that's 85 years old, and bringing it back to life, and so it can be used for another 100 years.
Instead of tearing it down and trying to do something all new and glamorous.
I mean, it's a great building. It just needed to have some code updates.
Now I need you to show the folks at home how you told me how this is going to change right here, how tall the new building is going to be, where it will be on the courthouse here.
Yeah, the new building will be 4 stories high, and basically, excuse me, you see that first relief there where these little columns start. That's going to be pretty much the height of the new building that will continue out and to go down College Street where all this construction area is.
Yeah, I just wanted you to hear that because that's kind of shocking to me because that's big. That's big. That's bigger than I thought in my mind.
It's going to hide the jail building.
It will hide the jail.
So,
And we'll change the sidewalk here a little bit, change that whole face of that, and to kind of make this one big complex.
It will. I mean, like say, we're going to move the sidewalk out. Obviously, with the courts building and government building, there are security issues. So, we'll do away with the parking in front of the building, but we've got the deck here. We're going to redo the plaza so it's more of, okay, I know this is the entrance. It's more user-friendly.
Not confusing like it is now.
Exactly. I mean, you'll be able to walk down and know that that's the entrance.
And what's in there.
Exactly.
Okay. Now tell me, because we're going to show the folks at home the 3rd floor. Tell me what happened on the 3rd floor of the courthouse, which we did not see with Bill the other day. What's up there?
Well,
it used to be the tax office.
The tax office moved out. For us to go ahead and start cutting the stairwell through 10, 9, and 8, those people that were in there had to move around. We had to add 2 more courtrooms, and that's what we did on 3. And then there's all those support offices that go with those courtrooms.
So we had to move tax out, which are now at 35 Woodfin, tax out. So those folks, so you could vacate that and then make new courtrooms so those folks could move out and down into that.
Exactly, because now that the demolition's been done all the way down, we're ready to come through the ceilings on 10 and bring the stairwells on down, start demolitioning up there so that the life safety tower can come up and meet it on 8.
Right.
So in order to do that, when you cut the stairwell through a courtroom, that courtroom's got to go someplace.
Right. So you took 3 and made new courtrooms.
Yes. Yeah.
And what's the difference in these courtrooms than what we've seen before?
I think that they're a nicer courtroom.
Yeah.
I mean, when you walk in, obviously, this is it's a proceeding. When there's a judge there, we wanted to look nice. We've got a grand building, so we didn't want to build something that was just not very.
Well, I just want the folks
I
at
don't
home
want
to
to say not ornate, but basically says, okay, I'm in a courtroom.
Right. Not cold and
No.
bad, but obviously official.
But you've got a lot of detail in the plaster in the courthouse. So we wanted to match up, and we basically used wood to do that. But they turned out nice.
Cool. Well, I wanted the folks at home to see it, because how many people in Buncombe County have visited the 3rd floor of the courthouse? If nowhere else in the courthouse, you've been to the 3rd floor to pay your taxes.
That's right.
So where you used to go to pay your taxes are now courtrooms, and we wanted you to see that. So, John, is there anything else about this construction that you think folks at home might need to know?
Well, I think, when we talk about phase 2 being the courts building, the courts addition here, we're going to start bidding that process out in September. I think by the first of the year, you'll start seeing some foundation work. That's going to be 18 to 24 month project, so it's going to be a while that this work will be going on, either the life safety tower or a new addition. And then we're going to come back in the 3rd phase, and we're going to address still some code issues in the courthouse, being mainly sprinklers, and we're going to replace the old existing elevators, which I'm sure will make everybody happy, with new, more efficient elevators. Instead of 3 old ones, we're going to have 2 new ones that are going to be a lot faster.
So that's 3 phases.
Exactly.
So you think when it's all done, 2015?
We're looking at, by 2015, the new courts building will be done. We're trying to also, while we're renovating parts of this building, naturally when we come through on 10, 9, and 8, we're going to be running sprinklers. We're going to be, I think, close in the late 15, that it'll be all done.
Wow. That's a huge project for the county.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. I mean, like I say, to take an 85-year-old building and bring it back to life is very exciting.
I think that's pretty Buncombe Green.
It is.
To reuse. That's right.
So, and to talk about Buncombe Green, this will be a LEED certified building.
Oh.
So,
that's huge.
So we're going to be doing our first LEED certified building and doing it right here on College Street.
Yeah. Now, for some folks don't know what LEED certified means. Just the layman's terms.
It means that it's going to be energy efficient, that it will meet standards as far as heating, cooling, use of water, reuse of other things in the building.
Right. So for the future, as today's standards, we will be as green as you can be in a building.
That's right.
That's a pretty big deal.
It is. I think it's a very big deal.
Yeah. Well, thank you, John.
All right. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you for tuning in. And stay tuned next month when, like I always say, you never know where we'll be.